can talk. As you guys know, I usually put some out and then maybe put one out, but I didn't put one out last night. And that's it's because I lost my uncle. Now, I kind of want to keep my emotions as much in check as I can. For instance, this wasn't shocking news. He was 62 years old, and he had multiple sclerosis for a very long time. But for what he did for me and my family, I just think it's really important to talk about. Because at the end of the day, that's what it's all about, right? Taking care of people, and he did that, and he did it when he didn't have to. It's tough. So for those wanting to know what we're going to do news-wise later today, we're going to do Ted Cruz talking to Google. We're going to do the Google censorship story. I'm going to be playing that. Obviously, we're going to recap all the Mueller obstruction of justice, dragging that out. But again, I really think it's time to talk about the importance of whoever's watching this, your influence on other people, and how you can impact their lives in ways you can't imagine. So, my Uncle Nick, big Italian family, Nicholas D'Onofrio II, he was my mom's older brother. My other uncles being Sal and Johnny. Johnny already passing in his 50s. Apparently, the D'Onofrio men lately, they don't make it very long. My dad, he only made it to 36. He was a Burmese, but, I'm hoping I can strive on for a little bit better. And, my mom had me, I don't talk about my personal life a lot, but she had me and my brother with my father. I think we were both born before she was 18, possibly before, while she was 17, I'm pretty sure. All right. So obviously there were a lot of struggles there. And you can imagine my dad dying at 36, in and out of jail all the time, not so stable. And my Uncle Nick stepped in when he didn't have to at all. And, he went from somebody that I had already kind of looked up to as a young man, because him and his brother Sal, they had wasn't only a fish store, but it was a health food store. And even back then, he was telling me the dangers of sugar and soda. And as a kid in the 80s, you're laughing at him. And everybody else around you is telling him, oh, he's crazy. He doesn't know what they're talking about. He's talking about saccharin way back in the day, which was like the first sweetener they used. So, and of course, aspartame, the test on that, it's all come out that it's poison, sugar especially. So he ran this health food store. He was one of the healthiest guys I had ever seen. He had no body fat on him. He didn't, it's not like he was working out all the time, but he was eating healthy. And, he very active guy. And then all of a sudden, he gets this diagnosis when I'm young. And slowly progresses into something that's just unimaginable to me. But, even before that, a lot of you, for instance, this walk and talk, I'm going to pick up my nieces right now. They're at art camp. They're doing great. School just ended. It's beautiful out. I got a lot to be thankful for. But he stepped in when my dad went to jail. And he, even before he went to jail, he stepped in and probably put us in the best house that we'd ever been in, ever. And it was a lot like the setup we have now, only kind of reversed, My mom, my brother, my sister at the time, we lived in an upstairs apartment that was kind of separate from the downstairs apartment. And he initially lived below and kept a lookout on us. And I can't tell you how many times he financially bailed out my mom. I mean, God. So, I don't know. The moral of the story is you just never know. I'll admit, by the time he was 40, he was limping around, and we'd already known that was going to happen. I'm not saying it's going to happen to me, but no one's guaranteed anything. So, I'm gonna, if I can keep it together for the rest of the day and handling the kids, and I had to handle them yesterday. It's another reason I didn't pump out as much content. I got one late night video out, and then I wanted to do those other two, but I'm upset. I'm not even sure. He was out on the West Coast with his brother Sal. I'm not even sure they're gonna bring him over to the East Coast where all my other aunts and uncles are, and his friends. It's a big family, Marianne, Candy, Michelle, my mother. So I don't know. I'm sure we'll all get together and whatnot and remember the guy, but it keeps reminding me, this is finite. Forever's not a real thing. Forever's not a real word. It's just not. Your impact on other people is what's forever. What you leave behind is forever. How you raise your family and impact them, that is forever. That's generationally. One of my buddies. See, it is nice living in this little community. And, I'm getting some beeps and hollers. And it just boggles my mind, that a guy like me, who doesn't call for hate, doesn't call for violence, is censored. And I know that the big news today it's all about conservatives, right? But it's not about conservatives. Why is a voice like mine, who's asking legitimate questions, who brings up, mainstream articles and reads them, who corrects himself when he's wrong, unlike the mainstream media, who's right now propagating a large-scale military conflict, aka war, against Iran, why do they get a pass? Why do they not only get a pass, but they get promoted? Go watch, finish up one of my videos and just have the Play Next feature on, and there's about a 95% chance that the next thing that comes up and plays is going to be some Fox News video or some CNN video, and it's got to stop. When I watched Cruz grill this woman, and every time she's sitting there going, thank you, Senator, smiling, and I'm in this department, I'm in the, she didn't answer a single fucking question. Not one. She just denied knowledge of just about everything he brought up, tried to spin it, and it's unspinnable. Project Veritas, I give them a complete credit. We have to credit organizations like that. Who cares if he's right-wing? I don't like the people James O'Keefe hangs out with either. I don't like him hanging out with Eric Prince. I don't trust the guy. But those videos are undeniable. They've done incredible investigative journalism, and that has to be 100% commended and acknowledged instead of being censored. You just doubled down on the hammer being dropped, by the way, when you do and say things like that. So in other words, when you say that you're not biased, and then you ban a video showing internally one whistleblower who's hoodied up and has their face retracted, explaining how they downrank people, and then on the other hand, you have hidden video of another person saying they need to stop the next Trump situation. Now, again, that situation is a very nuanced one. I've talked about it before. He's the first guy, whether you like him or not, to really take over one full party and make a lot of those people come to him whether they liked it or not. And again, I don't like a lot of the things he's done, but if you don't think things like Syria, Iran, etc. would have been worse under Hillary Clinton, and all the other things like the Trans-Pacific Partnership, North Korea would have been worse under Hillary Clinton, I can guarantee you that. That's 100%. It's not even debatable. And I know there are people that would like to say, oh, well, you don't have a crystal ball. I wouldn't need one. Number one, we wouldn't be going through investigation after investigation on something that we all know is bullshit. The Russian thing is total nonsense. And now with Mueller going to give his hearing just what everybody wanted to hear, because he's going to make the case for all those counts of obstruction. And he's going to say, well, if it was anyone else, I would have charged him. Well, if it was anyone else, I would have charged him. So as I stated, probably up to 6 months ago, maybe even more, Obstruction of justice is the new Russian collusion. This isn't going anywhere. They still don't want that guy in there because he is such a wild card. And he does say things like talking about the military-industrial complex, wanting to stay in Syria. You know, no one else is doing that. Believe the hype, okay? So, again, we give him credit for the good things he does. We criticize him on the bad. But they don't like when people say that. They'd much rather have an establishment Bush, a Barack Obama, a Joe Biden, a Joey B in there. So, guys, be on the lookout. I got the kids. Obviously, I'm going to have to get them some food and set them up. And I think I've got them till like 4 or 5 today. But while I've got them, I'm definitely going to pound out that Ted Cruz video, a new Robert Mueller video going over everything and all his Johnny nonsense over the years. And thank you. Thank you all for the support. Listen, be a difference in someone's life today. You have that opportunity every single day, and it isn't easy. They're not always going to be grateful, okay? You think it's all hugs and kisses and smiles with my nieces? It isn't. It isn't. We had a really great day, though, yesterday, despite everything that happened. Now, I didn't bring it down on them. They had a sleepover. 2 of their friends were there. It was a good time. So it was, you know, again, you can make a difference in someone's life rather easily, whether you realize it or not. So go do that. And remember, I'm on my own, doing my own thing. There's one way really to support me. It's the GoFundMe. Obviously, share my videos, all that. Thumbs it up if you're not subscribed. Make sure you're subscribed. Email this stuff out. You know, that always helps. People do check emails. But I have a GoFundMe. Any little bit count, you know, helps. I'm trying to do it monthly. I'm trying to stay in the game. I know I've been a little slow the last few days, but obviously things going on. But I'm going to try to make it so things aren't going on and use that as motivation to push forward. So thank you guys so much, and I'll see you on the flip side.